is your American dream?
I'm hoping that people will realize that there's no such thing as race. We're all of one kind. I think the astronauts can explain it best that when they're in outer space, looking back at an amazing planet, and look back at that planet and say, on that planet, there are people, not African Americans, not black, not white, not even when it comes down to international relations. And all of them, China, Russia, everyone can really just appreciate the fact that we have a great gift, the gift of life. And let's not waste it fighting against each other. Let's work towards one accord and one race, one people, so that we can make our planet a better place to live.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. My name is Brad Bernstein. Happy Hump Day. Happy Wednesday, June 30th, 2021. And it is Hump Day. I don't know if that's why it is so freaking hot everywhere, because it's Hump Day. Yo, Vanessa?
A lot of heat.
There's a lot of heat going on today.
It is hot.
It is hot.
I came in here sweating.
That you came in here sweat. You look. I said,
I'm a lot better now.
You are. I said, Yo, did you take a shower outside?
It felt like it. A shower of just lava.
It's crazy. I walked a block
That's
just.
what it feels like.
I walked a block just to get coffee around 5 o'clock, and you would think at
Please.
5 o'clock,
Oh, no.
you know, the day's cooling down.
Not at all.
It's just getting hotter and hotter.
Literally, I was on the train probably around that time, and the entire train, all you hear is sirens on the phones. And we all look at the phones at the same exact time. It looked like a movie or like an episode on Black Mirror. And everybody looked at their phones and literally said, you might experience a blackout.
Yeah.
To, lower your energy usage and all that. So, yeah. It's hot.
Yeah, everybody got that at the same exact moment.
It was
Yeah.
scary because we all were like, wait, what happened?
What's going on, right?
You don't want to get on the train.
It scares the hell out of you, right?
Yeah, especially if you haven't used the train in so long. Like, I haven't been riding the train. So,
Yeah.
like, all that happened. I'm like, hold on there.
Yeah, you don't want to be underground during an emergency.
No.
You want to be above ground during an emergency. I think.
I don't want to be in the same city of the emergency.
Let's see what's going. By the way, Vanessa, how are you, my dear?
Oh, I'm on the heat wave. I mean, we're on a talk show, so we have to speak, but it's hot.
It's hot.
It's hot.
All right, let's see what's going on Facebook and YouTube. Squad up, Pepe Samuel, Carol Anderson, the Tiger. Squad up, how are you? Vitalis Asugwu, squad up. Lola Lucy, Christy Consali, Terry Faith, Kevin Clark, Gowie Maxine, squad up family, glad to be in the house early today. Willie L. Williams.
Hey.
He is in the house and he's saying happy Hump Day, all in capitals.
There we go.
Willie L. Williams, love it, Hump Day.
You know Willie L. Williams is a hump day.
Stargirl Vika, squad up. And Elvetta Wright is watching, we see. On YouTube, Denise Johnson, Amanda O, Westman, squad up to you all. And Kashif Brown just says greatness, giving us a high five.
I want to tell Carol Anderson, the Tiger, make sure you hydrate. I see that she says it's so hot, she has a headache. Wow. Hydrate yourself. Everybody out there, especially if you're experiencing any of this heat, hydrate yourself.
That's a
please.
Good idea.
Yes. Serious. That's the only advice I'll give on this show. No immigration. I lived at the boss man.
All right, Yo, Vanessa, take it away. Back to you guys.
Absolutely. All right, squad, please remember to share because that is the only way other people can find out about the show because we're about to start schmoozing with Brad, talking headlines and immigration news, including the historic highest temperatures the Pacific Northwest is experiencing.
And it's Wednesday, squad, so we will be delving into Hump Day news, including a one-of-a-kind, tunnel-spotted in model and actor, Cara Delevingne's Los Angeles home.
And of course, you can always call us at 1-800-529-5465. The number scrolls along the bottom of your screen during our entire show. You also sometimes may see Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson with my head running across your screen, holding a sign, "Ask me your immigration question." It's the same telephone number to call our office, Spar and Bernstein, as it is to call our show right now. Our lines are open. We're going to take the first 14 callers, 1-800-529-5465. I will be answering your immigration questions shortly internationally. It's 212-227-8933. And later in the show, I'm going to be speaking with Mexican-American singer-songwriter, musician Alejandro Escovedo about his latest album, which is a Spanish version of his acclaimed 2018 album, The Crossing, his career, and his family's immigration story. All right.
Awesome.
It's so freaking hot, I don't even know if I could hold up my cards, my Bradshaw Live cards, but I will try. I would wear gloves, except it's too hot even to wear gloves, but these things are burning my hands.
Yes.
Let's do some schmoozing.
Let's do it.
You know, people think I do this for no reason.
I think it's to fan yourself.
It's to fan myself, and the cards are really freaking hot because it's so hot in the studio.
Yes, yes.
You can't hold the cards too long. You got to keep switching around.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, much of the Pacific Northwest, like Yo-Yo said, is having some of the highest temperatures ever.
Oh, no.
Ever. 230 deaths have been reported in Oregon, Washington, and the western part of Canada because of this heat wave. Portland has set record high temperatures 3 days in a row now, topping off at 116 degrees. Seattle hit 108 degrees, also a record. A town in southwest Canada. Canada's like known for snow and ice and cold and beer. I don't know what else is. Bears.
I didn't know that they were known for beer.
They're known for beer and bears in Canada. All right, and it's 117 and a half degrees. Those poor bears. Think about the polar bears up there.
Yeah. Oh, God.
All right, bears are dying up there. Can you imagine the poor animals? They don't get air conditioning, and they got all that fur. Think about it.
Can we blame this on global warming?
We can. Experts are saying what has made this heat wave so dangerous was that the Pacific Northwest is unprepared for this.
Oh, no.
According to the United States Census Bureau survey of 25 major metropolitan areas, Seattle and Portland rank first and third among cities with the highest proportions of households with no air conditioning.
I'm over here texting my people in Oregon and my family in Cali. I didn't even know about this.
Yeah.
That's scary.
You know.
Yeah, me either. My brother's in Oregon.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to check in on him.
Right.
Now this is called a heat dome by scientists. It occurs, according to the National Ocean Service, it occurs when there is a strong change in ocean temperatures from west to east in the tropical Pacific Ocean during the preceding winter. So I guess the change in temperatures in the ocean warms up the air. The warm air coming from the west part of the Pacific Ocean that gets trapped in the jet stream as it approaches land. When that hot air arrives over land, the atmosphere traps the hot air as if it was a lid put on it. Winds can move the heat dome around, which is why it can also be referred to as a heat wave. Nobody knows how long this is going to last. All right? But, like places like, people who are maybe watching us in Las Vegas, Arizona, they're like, 108, that's nothing. Phoenix, Arizona, 120, 125.
Yeah.
Airplanes can't even take off and sometimes in the heat in the summer in Arizona and Vegas. But they got air conditioning there.
Yeah,
so
they're prepared for it.
So, humans, you think about it, humans made this mess and then they made machines to cover up the mess. Because it's air conditioning,
which still messes it up.
Which messes it up more. But people in Portland, they don't have this stuff, and many people around the world don't have air conditioning. I mean, it's a luxury. It's not a we're sitting here saying, the poor people in Portland and Seattle don't have air conditioning. it's a luxury.
Yeah.
You know, we're in the United States of America, but in most parts of the world, there is no air conditioning.
So, like I said, this is why I love schmoozing with Brad, because, like I said, I get very nervous with my family, you know, especially
Right.
being far away. And I texted them, even though I probably shouldn't have. I had to like send them an email right now, and I just got an email from my uncle saying, yes, thank you so much. It went from 75 to 120 like that.
Yeah.
So like
The
they're
heat
all
dome.
just like, yeah, it's really
It's the
bad
heat dome.
out, and that's in Oregon. So.
Yeah. Now, according to my card here, it says heat domes have occurred more frequently as global temperatures have increased over the years. However, this specific type of heat dome, where you have the warm water, air coming in from the warm water, is very, very rare. It's very rare.
I never even knew about that.
Yeah. It's a 1 in 10,000 chance of this actually happening.
Dang.
Yeah, 1 in 10,000 chance. Now, climate change has caused temperatures to rise around the whole entire planet. We're lucky here in the United States we have air conditioning. Most countries, think about it,
Right.
they don't have air conditioning.
Yeah.
And the increased frequency of the heat domes is a product of global temperature rising. Daniel Swain, a climate scientist at UCLA, said in a recent blog, global warming is greatly increasing the odds of experiencing unprecedented heat extremes.
Hydrate y'all
Hydrate.
selves, please.
Meanwhile, climate change may be a culprit, they're saying, regarding
Ooh.
the 12-story Champlain Towers collapse in Surfside, Florida last Thursday. And now scientists are raising the possibility that the climate crisis could be playing a role in the collapse of the building. Now, the exact cause of the disaster has yet to be fully determined, although a 2018 engineering report on the structure warned of significant cracks and breaks in the concrete. At the time of the building's sudden collapse, repairs on its roof were taking place. So far, 147 people still unaccounted for. I would be very surprised if we find any of them alive. I hope we do, but I'd be surprised. 16 are confirmed dead. Now, experts are saying that the role of rising seas in the collapse is very unclear still, but the integrity of buildings are going to be threatened by the advance of salty water, salty air that pushes up from below and weakens the foundations. Zhang Renpeng, a professor and director of the University of Florida's International Center for Adaptation Planning and Design, said that the building code upgrades after Category 5 Hurricane Andrew hit Miami in '92 have made new structures more resilient, but the older buildings are still very much at risk. Every sandy barrier island, every low-lying coast from Miami to Mumbai could potentially have these problems moving forward. Now, you may remember a few months ago, we had a gentleman on our show by the name of Joylan Carter, and he was Collier, excuse me, and he was trying to save the coral reefs.
I remember
and
that.
part of the reason he was doing that was he was saying that it's the coral reefs, it's global warming, it's going to destroy all of every major city that's on a coastline. And it was kind of almost like what's the word? Premonition. You had a premonition. He was discussing Miami
wow.
specifically. Let's watch. Just a
It
few months ago.
all interacts with the oceans, with how people live and where they live.
Those oceans rise, we have every coastal community around the world being affected, and Miami, is being affected. Their city is flooding, and they're putting in millions and millions of dollars to have humps put in. That's not going to stop. You're just putting a Band-Aid on a very large cut. It's like this complete madness of thinking as opposed to addressing the issue, which is we're overproducing animals, we're cutting down every freaking forest in the planet, and we're pumping CO2 and carbon into the atmosphere. Those are the issues. Don't try and fix the down chain. Fix the top part, the top drivers that are doing it. Then you don't have to worry about the down chain because they're going to take care of themselves.
Now, most of South Florida is just a few feet above sea level at a time when the region is experiencing rapid increase in sea level, rapid increase in populations in southern Florida, all due to human migration to Florida, all due to human-caused climate crisis. And compounding this problem, the region sits on limestone, porous rock that allows rising seawater to bubble up from below. I don't know why this building collapsed, but it seems like it collapsed from the bottom. It seems like water was involved somehow. Rust was involved somehow. And what blows my mind about this, and I said this yesterday, there were engineers' reports, from what I read, that they knew they had serious problems. They had to spend $7-8 million renovating the integrity of the building. There was a lot of fights on the condo board about how to pay for it, who's going to pay for it. So it took a while for them to do. But in the end, nobody was warned. Hey, they were warned, you got a big problem here. But nobody was warned to say, hey, this building's about to collapse. Right. That was not in any engineering report. The engineering reports were like, you're going to have a lot of, major issues moving forward. I'm paraphrasing. But nobody said in the engineering report, don't live there. This building's about to collapse and everyone's going to die in this building. That didn't make it in the engineering report. Right. A letter sent in April from the president of Champlain Towers South Condominium Association said the damage to the building's basement garage had gotten significantly worse. But nobody said it's going to collapse. The letter suggested millions of dollars in needed repairs had been a subject of frustration among residents. 30 months later, after the original inspection in 2018, there was observable damage in the garage that got worse. This is what people are saying. When you can visually see the concrete cracking, that means that the rebar holding it together is rusting. But again, that nobody said, these are engineering consultants, nobody said the building's about to come down. Nobody said it. Now, Jay Miller, a retired college professor from Philadelphia who moved to Champlain Towers 3 years ago, said residents knew about the 2018 report, voted to make the fixes, but he said the $7 million price tag was very large. There was a lot of infighting, and it took them about 3 years to figure out how to pay for it. It's just, I don't think that people understood the gravity of the situation there.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously.
And
and the engineers are like, well, we told them to do it. Yeah, you told them to do it, but you didn't tell them the building's coming down, man. There's a big difference.
I have someone in the squad has a theory. We have a
theory. What's the theory, Vanessa?
We have a theory. So Rosemary Barnes on YouTube is saying the pool was leaking under it for years. That's her opinion.
It's possible.
To do with,
it's possible.
Right. I'm just throwing our theories out there. We have theories. The squad has theories. So
it is possible. There was a news article I saw that a surviving husband who was not in the tower was talking to his wife who was still missing, and she was on the patio on the 4th or 5th floor on the phone with her husband, saying that right before the building collapsed and the phone went dead, saying that it appears there was a sinkhole by the pool. So certainly based on that observation, I mean, we're going to get to the bottom of it. Based on that observation, the pool deck collapsed. Why? We don't know. Based on that observation. Scary.
So we have members of the squad are onto something.
Yeah. Meanwhile, last night, the House of Representatives voted 285 to 120 to remove the statues honoring people who defended the Confederacy from public displays on Capitol Hill, including removing the bust of former Chief Justice Roger Taney, who authored the 1857 Dred Scott decision. Do you know what the Dred Scott decision was, Jonathan or Vanessa?
No.
Dred Scott was a freed slave who made it from the south to the north and was kidnapped or taken back to the South by his owner, slave owner, and he sued for his freedom in the courts, made it all the way up to the Supreme Court. He said, Dred Scott said, once I made it to freedom in the North, you can't say I'm free and then say now I'm not free and kidnap me and bring me back to the South. And Roger Taney, one of the biggest racists ever, head of the Supreme Court.
Look at him.
You know what he said?
What?
Constitution doesn't apply to black people.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes people still say that today.
Yeah.
Right? But that was the Supreme Court decision.
Wow.
Okay? Black people, you don't get the Constitution. And people argue today, still may be the case. Maybe not as overtly written like that.
Right.
Right? But that's the Dred Scott decision. Black people don't get the Constitution. Only white people get the U.S. Constitution.
So what ended up happening?
So he went back to slavery and died a slave. So finally, in the year 2021, what is that, 170 years later, the House of Representatives finally decides to say, you know what? Maybe Chief Justice Roger Taney's bust in our Capitol, maybe that's not really appropriate, somebody we should be celebrating and walking past as a member that we are proud of in our history of the United States of America. Maybe we shouldn't be proud of this man. And maybe he should not have a bust in the Congress honoring him.
Just maybe.
Just maybe. Well, it's just a maybe because 120 congressmen felt he should still stay there.
Yeah.
All right, because the vote was, it wasn't like it was 465 to 0, which it should be. It was 285 to 120. I didn't even know that he had a bust in Congress. I'm so appalled when I read this. I am like so appalled. Dred Scott is the most disgusting Supreme Court decision ever made in the history of the United States of America. The most racist, disgusting decision.
Without even trying to hide it.
Okay, and I had no idea. And now I'm mad at myself because I don't even know that in our Capitol, the guy who wrote the most racist decision in Supreme Court history has a bust there. And now finally in 2021, somebody wakes up and says, hey, why is this guy here? We should get rid of him. Is that disgusting?
It's trifling.
It's beyond trifling. It's disgusting. I'm so angry when I think about this. God damn it, I'm throwing the card.
Throw it.
Ah, so angry. All right, what else? You know what? Screw Trump. I'm not talking about him either.
Yeah.
I can't stand that guy. All right, what else are we going to talk about? Coronavirus. Yeah, get rid of him. All right, coronavirus. Yeah, I know. We'll talk about it another day. Jill is in my ear goes, come on, give it to Trump, give it to Trump. I'm like, no, screw Trump. Meanwhile, the United States has more than 33 million confirmed coronavirus cases and more than 604,000 deaths worldwide. Today, there's conflicting. This is the problem with coronavirus.
Tell it to us.
Let me tell you the problem. You can't get a straight answer from nobody.
Yeah.
All right? Everybody gives you a different answer. So you don't know what the heck to do.
This is true.
Dr. Rochelle Walensky, the director of the Centers for Disease Control, she said that people who are fully vaccinated against the coronavirus, they don't need to wear masks in any situation.
They're good.
You're good. You got a vaccine, you're good. Go maskless. Okay? Go topless if you want. Go commando if you want. All right? Most situations. You are.
You're Gucci.
You go Gucci, right?
Yeah, you Gucci. That means you good.
You're good. Right. Now, on the same exact day or within hours or a day, the World Health Organization, okay, this is the CDC for the world. Mm-hmm. They say, they're reiterated their guidance that whether you're vaccinated or not, you should be wearing a mask to protect yourself. The heck, man?
This is what happens when this is a disease that we just don't know about.
No.
My thing is like, I just don't like the fact that like you have people that are saying this is what it is and you're gonna be good, and then you have the other side that's like, no, it's not. Like, but they're saying it like they're so sure. It's not like an opinion thing, you know. They're like they're so sure about it. So that's why I was like, if it was an opinion thing and like they were like, my opinion is you should be good, then it's like, okay, you're taking your own risk. But when you let us know that we don't have to wear masks inside, everybody just goes, phew. And now you got people saying it's not like that.
You got World Health Organization saying wear a mask. You got the CDC saying
confusing.
it's very good. Now, Dr. Walensky, she's the head of the CDC. She has an answer for this.
Oh, please.
Okay? Vanessa, you tell me if you buy this answer or not. You listening? This is her answer.
I'm listening.
The World Health Organization really has to make recommendations for an entire world. Many countries have far less access to vaccines than the United States. That's why the World Health Organization is saying wear a mask in all situations or many situations. And that's why the CDC in the United States of America is saying in most situations you don't need to wear a mask. Is that A, make logical sense to you? Or B, a weasel way out to say we have contradictory statements and we got to weasel our way out to make science look good? Which way is it? Because it could go either way. I have no idea. I don't even know where to stand on this.
I'm confused. I don't know.
I'm confused too. I'm confused, Yo-Yo. I don't know where to stand on it.
So do you feel, so the World Health Organization is basically saying that everybody
You should wear a mask. Right, to protect yourself.
But in the United States, we're saying
you don't need to because we're all vaccinated. But there's many places in the world that are vaccinated. So the World Health Organization is saying even if you're vaccinated, you should wear a mask. In the United States, they're saying if you're vaccinated, in most situations, you don't need to wear a mask.
I mean, after our former president lied to us about not having to worry about this disease, I don't know what to believe. It's like, I don't think any of us do. You know, we just have to go with, roll with the punches. Do what you feel is, more sensible to you. If you feel like wearing a mask, wear a mask. If you don't, then.
But that's basically it. You have to take it. You got to take all the information and make the best decision for yourself.
For yourself. The best thing, I think in my opinion, the best thing is if you're not going to wear a mask, just make sure you still protect yourself and like stay clean. You wash your hands, you still, protect yourself from all of that, but.
I'll give you my opinion, and my opinion doesn't mean anything because I'm not a doctor. Mm-hmm. Okay? But my opinion is if you're vaccinated or if you've had COVID already, unless you are in close contact with someone who is sick as a dog with COVID, you're unlikely you're going to get it.
But
that's what I would think.
But you got this info. That's
my opinion.
Your opinion.
But I have no scientific. I have no scientific
so where'd you get
data.
that idea from? You got that idea.
I got this idea from reading everything I read.
That's what I'm saying.
I synthesized it, and this is my opinion.
But you see what I'm saying? It's
but
like
I don't know if it's. I don't know if it's a fact.
But we read all that from one source. Now another source is like, no, it's not true. It's like, what are you supposed to believe?
And then also just human psychology is you end up believing what you want to believe anyway. Yeah. Right. So if you go into this and say vaccines are a joke, you're going to read through it and you're going to come to the conclusion vaccines are a joke. Yeah. And if you believe vaccines are saving people, you're going to read through all the information and say you got to be crazy not to take a vaccine. Yeah. And it's the same thing with masks. If you think masks are you go into this and think I think masks are stupid, you're going to read everything and you're going to come to the conclusion masks are stupid. And if you go into this and you say, you know what, masks, they work, man. I don't know why people aren't. I'm going to learn more to make sure. And you read through it, and you're going to say, yeah, masks work. People are crazy not to wear it. So everyone has their predisposition, and there's so much contradiction going on that you just, as you read it, you make true in your own mind your own predisposition. Yeah. And that's what's happening in the world.
Yeah. I think this is
be safe out there, y'all.
I feel like everything is just developing. So I feel like it's going to change all the time. But in my opinion, it's like, yes, get vaccinated. And I mean, for extra protection, wear a mask. Like, it's been working for so many people for an entire year. But who's to say what it'll be in 6 months?
Exactly. Meanwhile, It's the same exact thing I saw on CNN. I was just telling Jill this the other day. Within 24 hours, I read an article on CNN that said that we're going to need boosters every year. New York Times the next day says Moderna and Pfizer is going to last for years. What do you believe? CNN, New York Times. All within 24 hours. I said, I like the New York Times article better, so I say I believe the New York Times. I don't want to get a booster again next year. All right, let's get the hump day out. I mean, the answer is nobody knows. You got to make your own decision.
Right.
The Camel's got to make their own decisions. Yo-Yo's got to make his decisions. Vanessa, you make your decisions what's best for you and your family. That's really what it comes down to, I think.
Agreed.
Right. All right. Cara Delevingne. Cara Delevingne. Cara, I got to pronounce her name right. Cara Delevingne. Delevingne. Now I got
Cara
it.
Delevingne.
Cara Delevingne. She recently gave fans a tour of her Los Angeles home and revealed a very unusual feature. It is called the vagina tunnel.
Oh.
Have you heard about this vagina tunnel, Vanessa?
I have not, but I'm intrigued.
I'm intrigued about what the vagina tunnel is too. The sprawling LA pad features this vagina tunnel, which transports the tunneler from one room to another, opening the doors to Architectural Digest. The model and actor took cameras on a tour of her home. The secret passageway, which is hidden behind a glass pane, leads from the living room to a next-door bunk room with the exit designed to look like a washing machine door. The passageway itself just isn't nicknamed the vagina tunnel. The entrance is a dusky pink vulva, complete with pink feather pubes and a clitoris ball. That's quite a...
I was just going to say, do you see the little ball?
Let me see the picture again.
I like it.
Gentlemen, don't lose track of the little circle.
Right.
In the video, Cara demonstrates the tunnel, poking her head out of it to tell viewers, I feel inspired by this vagina tunnel. I'm going to show you where this lovely labia leads. In the next clip, she pops out of the washing machine exit saying, rebirthed and cleaned. Oh my God, she's off the reservation, this woman.
I'm here for it.
Wow, the house is meant to feel like an indoor-outdoor playground by way of Alice in Wonderland. Consumer RTOTE wrote, Cara Delevingne's house is amazing. Also, her vagina tunnel. I love it.
It's actually gorgeous.
Would you buy a house with a vagina tunnel, Yo-Yo?
Absolutely. If it's that house.
That house, yeah. You would take it. Would you get rid of the vagina tunnel?
No, that's a fun little, thing. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be just going through the tunnel every night. It would be it's a fun
Why wouldn't you go through the tunnel every night, Yo-Yo?
I'm not crawling just to get to another room, but it's a fun piece, to when you're hosting people, it's like, oh, you guys look at this, and that kind of reminds me of I went to the Museum of Sex.
Yes, on Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, and at the end of the museum, you have to go down the slide, and you come out of legs that are open.
Really?
So, yeah.
Maybe that's where she got the idea.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Now, one commentator wrote, Yo-Yo, which is right up exactly what you were saying.
Okay.
All right, they wrote, finally, a rich person's house that is undoubtedly very expensive, ridiculously decorated, but I actually don't hate it.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
It's very personalized.
Right.
And I actually like her a lot too. She gets flack for some of the things she does. There was an interview that she did a couple years ago where she just didn't feel like doing it, but she, still did it. But she had a little attitude, and she gave it right back. She doesn't play, so I like her.
Right.
She's good in my book.
Okay. Vanessa, good in your book? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I'm saying thumbs up, and just do not miss the magic pink
ball.
8-ball at the end of the tunnel.
Vanessa, would you like me to send my contractor over to make a vagina tunnel in your apartment?
We'll talk about this later. But talk about it off the air.
All right. Meanwhile, Ice Planet Barbarians. It's a science fiction romance series chronicling a band of human women stranded on an ice planet, along with the hunky blue aliens who love them and the many almost unprintable things they do to each other. Despite the first installment being written more than 5 years ago, Ice Planet Barbarian's books have been flooding Amazon's bestseller list since May, topping the science fiction charts and causing a frenzy on social media. Bookstores have even made special orders to stock the 22 main titles. The series' newfound popularity is thanks to Book Talk, the network of book lovers on TikTok who can catapult books like Ice Planet Barbarians from comfortable niche obscurity to overnight fame with a single viral video. Do you watch Book Talk?
No.
Not at all. If there's one reader to blame for the current Ice Planet Barbarians moment, it's Emma Carter. The 22-year-old was furloughed at the beginning of the pandemic, moved in with her parents in Kansas City, Kansas, and dove headfirst into TikTok, posting bookish fandom content. On May 22nd, Carter filmed herself casually making an iced coffee and extolling the virtues of, at the time, relatively obscure series. Let's watch. Oh, okay, we played it already. Now, whether it was her praise of author Ruby Dixon's sweet and weirdly complex storytelling, the promise of males who are simps and treat their women right, or the more anatomical aspects, something about Ice Planet Barbarian strikes a chord. Over the next few weeks, Ice Planet Barbarian books started popping up on Amazon Science Fiction. The first few books in the series have also cracked Amazon's overall Kindle bestseller list. I guess it's a book about aliens having sex.
Blue aliens.
That's blue aliens having sex
with human women?
No, with human women.
Human women. Yeah.
Right. So it's blue aliens with horns on their heads having sex with having sex with humans. Does that sound interesting to anybody? Sex with an alien.
I mean, listen. I think we can both agree, Yo-Yo. We do a lot of work on social media. There is a niche for everything.
There absolutely is.
Right. People are into alien sex.
I'm not surprised. I mean, look at them. They're hunks. Like, it looks like blue hunks with horns. Look at him.
He is a blue hunk with horns.
Any single woman, and not even single, but like any woman that likes, fantasy, sexual type of fictional books, probably enjoy that. Look at them. Like, it's a human woman. They're tired of regular human men. They're trash.
But is the alien blue all over? Is everything blue?
You got to read the book.
Like avatars.
Is everything blue?
You got to read the book. I'm sure it'll go into
everything. I mean, you get blue everything.
I'm sure. I'm pretty sure.
You're pretty sure.
Pretty sure.
So this tunnel is blue and not pink. This tunnel is blue, not pink.
Yes.
Look at Jessica Leamy. Nope, I'll pass. Jessica says she'll pass.
All right, Jessica Leamy does not want to have alien sex, Yo-Yo.
No,
she only
don't
wants
blame her.
human sex.
Yes.
Meanwhile, half of coupled Americans, nobody here, nobody in our show, but the other half, the people who are not on our show, half of America saying they're having the worst sex they've ever had in their life this year.
Yikes.
The survey asked 2,000 Americans about their sex lives. And queer sex and relationships therapist Casey Tanner told Insider, less passionate sex can mean a relationship is just more emotionally stable. Sex in tumultuous relationships, in contrast, can feel more fulfilling because of the sexiness that comes with hot and cold dynamics. I don't know about that. Why do you have to be in a tumultuous relationship to have good sex?
Because that's like the makeup sex, when
but
you argue.
You could have good sex and not be in a tumultuous relationship.
No, they're saying that it's probably better sex, because when you argue with your partner and then you guys have makeup sex, it's like, then like you just like you let all that aggression out. But if everything is just like peachy clean or peachy keen, and you're just like, okay, we're having sex, everything is cool.
But is makeup sex almost like angry sex?
That's why it's so hot,
right? Makeup sex is like angry sex.
It's the same thing as like BDSM and all that, because you go into like you explore.
You know.
Well, it sounds like Yo-Yo had makeup sex recently. He seems to be able to talk about it very detailed.
So fluidly.
Yeah. Have you had makeup sex recently, Yo-Yo?
I'll plead the fifth.
Now, Tanner explained if your sex is good but not great, it doesn't necessarily mean you need to worry. Relational satisfaction does not typically require that you're having mind-blowing sex. It matters that you're having good enough sex. So this means instead, so if you and your partner are comfortable in every other part of your relationship, sex is something that you can work on. This means instead of placing blame on each other, discuss what you want in your dynamic. I believe you got to talk it through. Tell them what you like and what you don't like. Anybody?
I mean, of course, that works as well. That works as well.
Yeah. All right, and we got to get to our immigration questions, but let's do one more. What do you think? What do you think?
That's up to y'all.
It's hump day.
These hump day stories.
All right, I got a hump day story over the schmoozing card. Nope, the schmoozing card, and I got a hump day story over the iPad. What?
I haven't chose the schmoozing in a while.
Schmoozing card?
Schmoozing it is.
All right, go back. Which one was the schmoozing? Because it's the opposite. This is schmoozing. Okay.
You're right.
Oh, I know. I just see it.
Right. Okay. All right. So, you watch Love Island? I don't watch Love Island.
I don't.
Do you watch Love Island? None of us watch Love Island.
Is
But we're
that one on Netflix?
It's a British reality dating competition show. Its star Shannon Singh has made some steamy confessions, even getting down and dirty in the toilet.
What?
Yeah, the 22-year-old model from Fife, Scotland, recently opened up about her sex life, boasting she had sex 8 times a day. Is that even possible?
That's too much.
That's a lot.
Possible.
That's a lot. But you don't know how long each sex session is. Is each sex session like a minute?
Right.
I mean, you're having sex 1 minute 8 times a day? Yeah, that's possible, right? You're having sex 1 hour 8 times a day? That's 8 hours? That seems a lot.
No. That's definitely not it.
She has no job?
She has an OnlyFans page of 150,000 people.
It is her job, Yo-Yo.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. She said in a recent posting, I had sex in the morning yesterday, then in the toilet, then in the afternoon. I quite like a bit of rough and tough. I kind of like it rough, and I love a bit more of morning. What the whole thing is it possible to have sex 8 times a day? That's what she's claiming. She has sex 8 times a day.
She says she does it.
I believe it. Why not? What do you got to lie about that for?
Right.
Right? Why lie about that?
I
mean, I don't lie about my sex life. I have sex at least 9-10 times a day.
What?
Yes. Every hour I'm working. I go home. I come back. I go home. I come back. Why lie about it?
Between clients.
Yeah, in between clients, of course. Everybody does.
Goodness.
I don't even see why this is even a story.
Right.
And by the way, Jill just put in my ear. By the way, just as a caveat, she just got kicked off the island.
Oh,
so
damn.
if anyone has plenty of time now to have sex, it's this woman. There you are. Hump day stories in a week. All right. In today's Braducation, I explain why you should never give the police permission to search your car. Even if you're concerned, the law will come down tougher on you if you do not allow them to search without a warrant. Let's watch. My goal is straightforward, to make the law usable and easy to understand for everyone. All of us in the United States have equal rights and should have an equal opportunity and a right to justice. I'm here to help because I want everybody to achieve their American dream. I'm Brad Bernstein, and this is your decriminalization. My goal is Bernstein, and this is your decriminalization Braducation. I'm not here to tell you what you want to know. I'm here to tell you what you need to know. My objective is to make the law easy for you to understand so that you can use the justice system, know your rights, take advantage of the law, and achieve your American dream. When a police officer has probable cause that a crime is being committed by you, the officer has a right to arrest you. This notion of probable cause comes from the 4th Amendment to the United States Constitution. It protects people from unreasonable search and seizures. It is not a guarantee against all searches, but just those that are unreasonable. Do the cops have a right to search your car or truck if you get pulled over? If a police officer pulls you over or approaches your vehicle, provide the paperwork they ask for. But if they ask to search your vehicle, whether you have something to hide or not, your answer should always be no. No, you cannot search my vehicle. Your right is that the police cannot search your vehicle. You may notice that the police sometimes, when they stop your vehicle, look through the windows. It's because they're only allowed to search your car if they have reasonable suspicion that a crime is being committed based on what they see in plain sight. So if you have nothing in plain sight in your car, whatever they find would not be admissible in court because it was an illegal search. And the case against you would be thrown out of court. That is why the police always ask for permission to search your car. If you give them permission, it's no longer an illegal search. You invited the police to search your car. And if you are inside the vehicle and they find something incriminating, and maybe you're just the passenger in the car, whatever they find, even if it has nothing to do with you, you are still criminally liable for what is discovered. So that is why everyone in the car should say no to a police search. If 1 of 4 people in a car says yes, then the police are invited to search, and you never know what the police may find. If the police tell you it will make your arrest more difficult for you if they have to get a warrant, well, then they're usually bluffing. It means they most likely do not have probable cause to search your vehicle in the first place. But everyone says I'm afraid, and if I don't cooperate, the law will come down tougher on me because I did not allow them to search my vehicle. Well, let me be the first to tell you that if the police find something illegal in your car, truck, you will be treated the same way whether you gave them permission or they had to get a warrant. But as I said, if you don't give them permission to search your car and they don't have a warrant to search your car and they find something illegal that is not in plain sight, then you are in a better position because your case is likely to get thrown out in court. All right, you got a question. I've got some answers for you. And by the way, give us a call. It's just one of those days. We still have open lines. Usually we're totally locked and loaded by now, but you can give us a call, 1-800-529-5465. We will get you on our show. Let's go to Marlon in Brooklyn. Marlon.
Hi, good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm not bad. I'm just calling about interview I had in 2019.
Okay.
And then in June this month, the 15th of June this month, I had another one and got denied. But
that you had the Stokes the second time.
Yeah, the stroke, yeah.
Right.
So, but my wife did not approach with me because they want me and my wife to came in, but me and my wife is broke up, you know. So then there was like.
So you went on the second interview. You and your wife were already broken up?
Yeah.
Did your wife show up, or you just did it? You went by yourself?
I went by myself.
Okay, so yeah, all right.
Me and a lawyer.
Okay, so what would be the purpose of you going? Because they're going to interview you and deny you anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why the lawyer.
There would be no purpose in going. But okay, you went, fine. So you got denied. You were getting denied whether you showed up or you didn't show up. No matter what you were saying, you don't show up with a wife, you're getting denied. So now where are you at?
So right now I'm out there. There was like, if you do not intend to file a motion or appeal on this decision,
correct,
and fail to depart the United States.
Okay, so you got a letter. You have a letter denying you. The letter is from immigration saying if you don't appeal, you have to leave the United States of America. Let me finish. That letter has zero authority. That's like Yo-Yo or Vanessa writing you a letter saying, please leave America. Yo-Yo and Vanessa can't tell you to leave America, and neither can an immigration officer tell you to leave America. The only one who can tell you to leave America and order you to leave is a judge. Okay. So you haven't seen a judge. You haven't been put in removal. Right now, the Biden administration says that their priorities are people who have committed crimes. So assuming you haven't committed any criminal offense,
no, I
am going to assume that the Biden administration is going to be truthful in what they're saying and should leave you alone. I can't promise you, but they should leave you alone. And if they don't, all right, you don't have to go running home. I hear a baby in the background. You don't have to go. You don't have to go running home. Okay. If they don't leave you alone, they'll send you another letter in the mail. It's called a notice to appear. That is an official letter to go see a judge, and then you got to fight out your deportation. My guess is that won't happen to you, but I can't guarantee you that. Was there any abuse in the relationship between you and your wife?
Not really.
Not really.
She just decided that she just leave.
Okay. Now, whose baby is this? Is this with your wife or this is with a new woman?
No, a new woman.
Okay. Now, is this new woman hopefully a citizen or a resident?
Resident.
Okay. So you know what my advice is going to be to you?
Huh?
You know what my advice is to you?
Yeah.
What do you think my advice would be?
I know because.
Okay. So all right. Let me unconfuse you. Okay. You should get married to the woman that you're with, not stay married to the woman that's not standing by you, who's not showing up to an interview. So you need to divorce your wife immediately.
Yeah.
And remarry the woman who you have a child with, who is a resident, who will file for you. Hopefully we can make that woman, your future wife, a citizen, and you'll go through this process again.
Okay.
All right, do that quickly. All right, hold on.
Okay.
He's confused. Hopefully I unconfused him. Ann in Los Angeles. Ann.
Hi, Brad. Thank you for all the work that you're doing.
My pleasure.
I received, April 2018, I received an NTA with no specific date. The date part was to be determined.
Okay.
And I have a two-part question. My question is there anything at this point in time I can do in regards to the NTA? Can I file maybe a cancellation or removal?
I don't know.
But I haven't received any other notice.
Okay. Where are you originally from?
I'm from Kenya.
Okay. How long have you been in the United States of America?
In a nutshell, arrived 2001 on an F1 visa, 5-year visa, went to school, finished school, visa, traveled internationally 2004, came back. And
When was the last time you entered America?
Entered back the United States 2004 when the visa was still valid.
Fine. All right. So you've been physically in the U.S. for the last 15, 16 years. What family members do you have in America?
But in January 2010, got married to an American citizen.
Let's jump to 2021. What family members do you have in America?
2021, I have two children, 8 and 12 years old.
Okay. And where is the father of these children?
We are not together. He's here, but we're not together.
But the children live with you?
Yes.
And
we do share custody.
Okay. And you said you were married in 2010. I presume that marriage broke up. I assume that marriage, at some point you filed for a green card. You didn't get it. Is that correct? Now,
yes,
how did you end up in how did you end up in removal? Because of this denial of this marriage adjustment?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, go ahead.
The next part, fast forward 2019 December, I happened to be a victim of a qualifying crime for a U visa.
Mm-hmm.
August 2020, filed for the U visa, completed the I-918 and the I-918B, but did not send the personal statement. May 10th, 2021, received receipts for my biometrics, which I already did. My question is now, with the new policy, what can I do now in regards to
you're gonna do two things. Okay, number one, you're gonna get a notice to appear, for a judge. You're gonna get a notice. Your master calendar is XYZ date. They just haven't scheduled it yet. Okay. Maybe because you're in Los Angeles and the courts have been open and closed because of COVID, so they just don't have a spot for you. Okay, so lucky you. All right. But at some point in the next few weeks or months, the Biden administration is going to come out with regulations for this deferred enforced departure for people who have filed bona fide U visa applications, which I
Okay.
assume you have.
Yes.
Once you make that application and get your work permit, deferred enforced departure means the government's not deporting you. So even if you are put in removal, the judge is going to terminate your proceedings or administratively close your proceedings. You may also, before the judge does that, you may request the judge, in any event, can I do a cancellation of removal based on extreme and unusual hardship to my children? Because you can adjust your if you can prove you've been here for 10 years and you're a person of good moral character, and there would be extreme and unusual hardship to your children if you were deported back to Kenya, and that would be either your children have to come with you to Kenya and live there, or you go back to Kenya and your children stay in America never to see their mother again. And
Right.
you would prove extreme and unusual hardship in both of those scenarios to the children, and then you would get cancellation or removal and that would allow you to adjust your status too. But you ultimately, as a U visa applicant, especially now that Biden has changed the rules and is providing, at some point, we're just waiting for the regulations to come out, deferred enforced departure for people who have bona fide U visa applications filed. Deferred enforced departure means you're not leaving. They're not deporting you.
Okay. So then I'll just wait for paperwork or some sort of notice now.
You're going
for
to
my
wait.
UV.
You are going to wait for a notice in the mail to go for a master calendar. You're going to need to hire a good lawyer, because when you get that master calendar hearing, the deferred enforced departure rules may not be out yet. Maybe you get it in 2 weeks from now. I don't know. And then you have to go forward with something called cancellation of removal, which we just talked about.
Right.
That's a process that's going to take years anyway. So just by telling the judge you're going to file that, you've bought yourself years. And then over time, I'm sure the deferred enforced departure you'll go back to the judge and say, I have this DED. I still want to go ahead with the cancellation because maybe I win the case.
Okay.
But ultimately, based on what you told me, you're not going anywhere. You're living here in America for the rest of your life.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right.
All right.
Let's go to Christina in New York City. Christina.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for what you're doing.
My pleasure.
God bless you for that. Yes, I
Thank
just
you.
came across your show not quite long ago, and I fell in love with it.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes, I have a question, not a good one. I am a green card holder, and will be 5 years in December. So I want to file for my citizenship. And I've already applied for Medicaid.
Okay.
So I was not granted the Medicaid. I think they said I've not stayed up to, my green card is not up to 5 years. I don't know. I can't remember the reason. But they placed me on Essential 4 under New York State.
Not, everything that you're telling me has no bearing on your citizenship. Because
I feel that when I went through, it's like it is free for me.
Okay, so if your concern is that you're getting some public benefits or Medicaid and you're not going to be able to become a citizen, let me allay your fears, meaning that you should have no fear about becoming a citizen. And the reason is there is no public charge rule to become a citizen. There is no rule that says you have to support yourself at a certain level, or you can't take government benefits to become a United States citizen. You could be on government benefits for your entire life. As long as you have 5 years good moral character, you've resided in the United States with a green card for more than 5 years, you're going to become, and you know how to read, write, and speak English, you're going to become a citizen.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
So you'll be fine.
Yeah, thank you. Another question is that, hello?
I'm listening.
Okay. Another question is that I filed for my 2 children. One in Africa, it's 2017. That one is on the age. But now he's 22. He was 22 in February.
Okay.
So since last year, they've been telling him that he's on the waiting list. They are waiting for interview.
He may be under the Child Status Protection Act as being an F2A. I don't know. I would have to look at the I-130 and all the paperwork.
Okay, so even when I accept this Medicaid, it will not affect them?
That's a different story. Because accepting Medicaid, you have to prove that your children, you can support them 125% above the poverty level. And you accepting Medicaid may indicate to the government that you can't support yourself. So when you are petitioning for family members, getting the Medicaid is a problem. For you particularly to become a citizen, no.
Okay. Well, what this Medicaid, they say I'm not qualified for Medicaid, but they gave me Essential 4.
I don't know what Censure 4 is. They
call it New York State Effect.
I think you'll be fine then. I don't even know what that is, but I'm sure it's okay because it's state.
It's
not
like
federal.
Medicaid, it's free and all that. It's just that they say I'm not qualified.
I think that's okay. I think that's okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, thank you.
And by the way, they look at the totality of circumstances. It's not like what Donald Trump used to do. I think you're going to be okay anyway. I'll give you one more thing, by the way. That you have a child 22 and the other one is how old?
The other one is it's 27 now.
Oh, okay. I thought one was...
That one is a student. He was a student.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to tell me they were like 14 or 15 years old.
No, the other one is younger.
How much is
what's the younger one?
What's the younger one? What's the younger one?
The younger one is 22 now.
Oh, okay. They're all adults. Okay. All right. Never mind then. I was going to tell you something different, but they're all adults. Okay. All right. Good luck.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hirsch in Chicago. Hirsch.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Hi.
Good afternoon, sir. Good evening.
How you doing?
Good, sir. How are you, sir?
Good. What's going on?
Sir, I have two questions I want to tell you quickly.
Yes.
Sir, I was working on a gas station, and three guys came and they tried to steal, and I caught them, and then they tried to give me a fake bill, of $20 fake bill. Then I called the police. Police was on the phone. They could hear what these guys were. They were trying to threaten me that they will come inside the counter and hit me and all that. And they ran. And I was on the phone with the police. So police caught them on the red light. And they were arrested. And there's a police report. My name is in that report. And also, police found drugs in their car and I think gun also. So do I qualify for U visa in this case?
Maybe. You were certainly the victim of an assault or potential assault, which is a serious crime. But you, I assume, cooperated with the investigation and the police. But you also have to show you are injured. So if nobody physically touched you, you don't have a physical injury. You need all three. Serious crime, injury, cooperate with the authorities. Now, an injury can also be emotional. I don't know what's inside of your body. That's why I said maybe. I don't know what's inside of your body. Maybe after this incident you have post-traumatic stress disorder. Maybe you have high anxiety. Maybe you need to go seek counseling. You're terrified, like a man or woman who came back from war.
Yes, sir. So I want to tell you that this case happened in 2019.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not inside of your body. But if you have an injury, a cooperation with the authorities, and a serious crime, so you're missing the injury component. Maybe you're going to therapy already, and you can, your therapist would be able to write a report about your emotional injuries. That would be perhaps sufficient.
Okay, sir. Sir, my second question related to the same is, this case happened in 2019, and then I filed for U visa last year, and through a lawyer, and because he told me that yes, you are the victim, you can apply. So I filed for U visa, and now because of now what is going on, do I have to do anything about this bona fide status? What do I have to do? My lawyer has to file anything for the bona fide thing?
We got to see what the regulations require.
Okay, so till now there is nothing.
There's no regulation out yet. Let's see what happens.
Okay, sir. Right. And also, sir, one more thing, sir, please. Me and my wife, we came here and we applied for student visa. That was in 2017, but it was Trump time and we got rejected. We applied again. We applied around 7 or 8 times for the student thing to change our status from B1, B2 to F1. and it got denied around 7-8 times. And now we are under the removal proceeding. Like, we got a letter. We have a court date next year in March.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully they're gonna have, just like the caller before, the second person with a U visa who's in removal. You're gonna get the deferred enforced departure, hopefully, and then you would not get deported.
So do I have to do anything with my lawyer, or do I have to hire you? I have to take your help. Can you help me in anything?
Well, if you're calling me, that means your lawyer is not giving you good advice. So hold on. All right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right. I mean, you've answered your own question. Let's go to Kamira in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Kamira.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I have a question. Last year I filed a VAWA case.
Right.
Along with a I-765. However, I did not file the 485. I don't know why. I guess I was scared. However, since then I've gotten 2 prima facies.
File the I-45.
I recently
file it.
File it still?
File it. File it. File it. File it. Everyone with a VAWA, file an I-45. You're going to wait years for a work permit. Go file the I-45.
Because I recently received a letter in the mail, like last week, for my biometrics.
File an I-45.
I didn't get an approval letter.
You got an approval
letter? So I can still file it?
You got an approval letter of what?
I got a letter to do my biometrics.
File an I-485. If you haven't done it, do it now. File your adjustment. It's my opinion. You have
Even though I'm divorced?
Yes, you have a prima facie. So the government's already looked at your application, said it's got bones. Do it.
Okay, I wasn't sure because I know that they said in order for me to get an a work permit, I had to get an approval, and I saw the letter for the biometrics. I was confused.
No. Yes, you need an approval of an I-360 to get a work permit, and you're going to wait years for that. File an adjustment.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.
Let's go to Fabi in Baltimore.
Hi, how are you, sir?
Hi, how are you?
Sir, thank you so much, sir, for your time and work. Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
Sir, I have filed my VAWA case, I-360 in June 2018, and it was approved in July 2020, 7th July 2020. And then there was my interview in January 2021. It was 14th January, and then they sent me I-485 approved in notice.
So you got your green card. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, sir. But sir, they in the notice they said maybe they need my biometric within 90 days. They will send me separate notice for the biometric, or maybe they will send my green card.
They're going to send your green card.
But sir, it's 150 days because they have mentioned 90 days in notice. But it's 5th month. Is everything okay? And how many more days?
You should call up USCIS and see if they mailed out your green card yet. That's where I would start.
Sir, I have called them a lot, and there is a reward, and it didn't allow me to talk with anybody.
If you have a notice that says your I-45 is approved, then you are a lawful resident of the United States. If they don't mail you a green card, what you can do is go make an InfoPass appointment, go down to your local office and get a temporary I-551 stamp put in your passport so you can travel and work and do what you need to do.
I can go myself? I can go myself?
Of course you can. You're a resident.
Okay,
you have nothing to be scared about.
So it's already 5 months, and I can go myself and talk to them and tell them to stamp it.
Say here's my approval. I need it for a job. I need it to travel. You got to just bring proof what you need it for.
So I'm so sorry to interrupt you, sir, but that's why I'm calling you, because my work permit expired last 2 months and it's not working.
And you can't get a new work permit because you can't apply. You're not eligible for a work permit anymore because you're a green card holder. You don't get a work permit. Your green card is your work permit. So you need you need that to work.
Yes. So I can go by myself and tell them to stamp in my...
Absolutely. And if you go and they tell you, and I don't know why they haven't mailed it to you. I'm not the manufacturer of the green card.
Yeah.
But if they give you a problem, then call me back.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go to Alfonso in Syracuse.
Hello, Bert.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. My name is Alfonso. I have 2 questions.
Yes.
My first question has to be, when I'm a green card holder, I've been in the United States for 5.5 years now.
Right.
I went back to Africa last year, June.
Right.
And we were quarantined. They took our documents, and my green card was missing. So I got stuck there for a couple of months and have to go to the embassy and pay $575 to give me a travel visa in my book. So that's how I came back to the United States. And applied for my citizenship. I got a biometric coming up July 13. So my first question here is, it says I should go along with my green card. I don't have a green card. So is it okay that I just take my passport with the stamp in it?
Yes. How long were you out of the U.S.?
I was out of the U.S. for 4 months, 4.5 months.
Then you're okay. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, and then the second question I have to do, I filed in for my wife and my 2 sons since 2019, and they got approved.
Great.
So they asked for the affidavit of support. I already sent it.
Great.
They accepted it. I checked on the website. It was submitted and accepted.
What is your question?
So my question here is, if they call me for my citizenship, I get my citizenship before they can be scheduled for interview. Will it affect my kids that I have to reapply for them or what?
Well, did you apply for your children separately or just one application for everybody?
I did one application for just a company.
Okay, fine. So what you should do right now, because you know you're going to become a citizen, once you become a citizen, the kids fall off the case, and then your kids don't come. So what you should do now, knowing that you're going to become a citizen, is file separate I-130 visa petitions for both of your children immediately.
I should do it before.
Do it right now. Right now, the second. Literally the second.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Good luck. All right, let's go to Steve in Queens.
Yes, hello, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Yes, I have an upcoming interview coming up, but I didn't get to send in the medical at the time, so I'm going to bring it in when I'm going to the interview. Is that okay?
It's perfectly fine.
And they don't do any drug tests at the interview, right?
No, they only do the drug test with the doctor.
Okay, all right. I filed for I-485.
Correct.
Under my... So we're going in this week.
All right.
So thank you.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Let's go to Sacco in the Bronx. Sacco. Sacco.
Hello?
Sacco.
Yes.
What's going on? A lot going on in the background there. What's going on?
Oh, yeah, good. So I have a friend.
Mm-hmm.
So he got married with a citizen. So, but his wife, he put in a petition. But right now, he want a divorce.
Okay.
So my question, if his wife refuses to go to the interview, so what's gonna happen?
He married a woman. He wants a divorce. Who's getting the green card?
No, his wife is not a citizen.
His wife is a citizen?
Yes.
Well, he doesn't get, if he gets a divorce, he doesn't get a green card. He's got to start again.
Oh, but he don't get a green card yet.
What you told me, maybe I misunderstood, but what you told me is you have a friend, he married a woman, she's a citizen, your friend wants the divorce. What's going to happen?
No, my friend. The
wife wants a divorce. You can't force somebody to stay married to somebody. She wants a divorce, she wants a divorce. So that's the end of the case. Unless there was abuse, he can convert the case to an abuse case. Other than that, he's got to fall in love again.
Also, but he can marry another woman and then he's going to do petition, right?
Yeah. You fall in love, you fall out of love, you fall in love, you fall out of love. That's life.
Yeah, because they already sent the document, they received all the paper, he did in a fingerprint already.
We're already answered the question. The wife doesn't want to continue. He gets divorced. There's nothing you can do. Fall back in love.
Okay. How can he gonna hire you?
Hold on.
Because he
Hold
wanna...
on. Hold on.
Okay.
All right. How could he hire me? Ann in Nashua, New Hampshire.
Hi, Brad.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I just had a couple of questions.
Yes.
I filed for my husband. It's been a while. It's about to be 2 years. It was a spouse visa, and I haven't heard anything. Well, my last step was the NVC, and I've been waiting for an appointment to the embassy, and just like every time I kept calling.
Where's your husband? What embassy?
He's in Haiti.
Okay. So, and you're a citizen?
I am.
So, obviously, there's an issue with COVID, okay? And the embassy in Haiti is a disaster. Did he ever get interviewed, or he never got interviewed?
Never got, because we never got an appointment. Every time I called, they're like,
and you've been filing for him since when?
Since 2019.
Wow, that's terrible. I mean, we can try to call on your behalf. I don't know. Sometimes we're successful, sometimes we're not. The embassies all have issues with COVID, especially in Haiti. It's a disaster there, I know. But we can try, certainly. But, you're doing everything you can. Call and harass them. Or have somebody call and harass them.
Okay.
All right, hold on. Let's go to Blessing in Dallas, Texas. Blessing.
Hey, Uncle Brad.
Hey, how are you?
Good evening. I'm fine. Thanks for the good work. I got 2 quick questions for you. I'm a green card holder. I already put in my I-751, and I'm waiting. I'm going to be due. I'm going to put in my citizenship in the month of October. So my question is this. I'm going to petition for my kids. They're abroad.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know which is the best to do, like petition for all of them in one application or separate?
No, you have to. It's separate applications. You can't put them all in one.
Okay,
each child gets a separate one.
Oh, okay, separate application.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, I don't know if you have an idea what the processing times will be like, give or take, when they're going to get approved. Like, if you have an idea about it.
How old are they?
Oh, it's 10, 8, and 6.
All right, so you're going to file petitions for them now. You're going to become a citizen. You're going to upgrade it. And then they're going to come here as U.S. citizens because probably start to finish, you're eligible for citizenship in November. You file for them now. You do your citizenship in November. You're a citizen by next June. You upgrade the case. They'll be here in 2023, early 2023 probably.
Brad, you're the best.
All right,
Thank
good
you
luck.
So much. Yes, sir.
All right. Let's go to Marlon and Elizabeth.
Hey, brother, what's up?
How you doing?
Yeah, calling. Yeah, just one question. My wife, right? Her green card is expired, but she get a notice letter to file for her form I-751, right?
Right, she had the 2-year card.
The COVID, the COVID, we didn't get the letter, so we called, we didn't get to. So anyway, I called, but I get to and I filed it back over, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I check online, it says our case be transferred to a different office, and she was wondering, like, what that
doesn't mean anything. People freak out. Oh my God, my case got transferred to this office. This is a disaster. It doesn't mean anything. They just transfer files from one office to the other to kind of even out their work. One guy in Missouri's got sitting at a desk with nothing to do. Hey, John in Texas, send me over some files so I could look at something. I mean, that's basically what happens.
So our extension is about to expire next month, right?
Right.
But she have a green card like 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So 2-year green card and the notice and
she can file for her citizenship if she wants.
She can, with the I-75 is pending right there.
Yep.
Okay, so I think that's it. Thank you. So
you're very welcome.
You don't need to be complaining.
Okay. All right. Justine in Houston. Justine.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello?
I hear you, Justine. What's going on?
Yes, please, I want to ask you, someone who has a document and then somebody who did and they're making me undocumented.
Wait. Somebody has a document and it's making them undocumented? I don't know what you're saying.
Yes. For example,
Start again. I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay, someone has my documents and I want to travel outside the state. I have requested for it from him.
Why does somebody have your documents? How did that happen?
And he's one who filed for me, and I have requested for it. I want to travel out. He doesn't want to release it to me. So someone gave me a contact to ask if there is any way.
What documents does he have of yours?
I think that is supposed to be a green card by now, but he doesn't want me to know anything about it. The only thing I have
is this guy a lawyer? Who are we talking about?
Hello?
I hear you, but you're not. The story's a little confusing to me. Some man has your documents. You think you have a green card, but he doesn't want to give it to you. Who is this man to you?
To be honest with you, I don't know what he's doing with it.
Who is this man to you? Is he your friend? Is he your lawyer? Is he a paralegal? Is he a stranger? Is he a guy you met on the street and said, here's my documents, take them? Who is this man to you?
He's my director.
He's your what?
He's my director.
Your director of what? Director of what? Your boss?
He doesn't want me to mention his name. So.
I don't understand what you're talking about. So hold on. You need a consultation. Honestly, I don't know what the heck he's talking about. Let's go to Anna in San Antonio, Texas. Anna.
Hi. Good afternoon.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I have several questions.
Yeah.
So I am married to a DACA recipient.
Yes.
We've been married for 11 years. So long story short, my husband came in 93. He was maybe 6 or 7 years old. At 19, he got a voluntary departure. And he left and came back within, I think, maybe 6 months in 2006, August. And then he got granted DACA. My question now is, can I apply for a green card for him if he were to get advanced parole?
He had... Wait. He has DACA?
Right now he has DACA.
He had voluntary departure. He never left and has DACA now.
No, he did leave.
And then how did he come back?
He says that he just tried to cross the port of entry through the radar, and they let him in. They didn't ask him anything.
When did he leave the United States?
He left his voluntary departure paper says March of 2004.
How old was he in March of 2004?
He was actually 19.
He was 19 in March of 2004.
So he was 18 a year before.
Okay. And then he comes back to the United States without I don't even know if he qualifies for DACA, quite frankly, based on what you're telling me. So
that's what I've been told.
So he doesn't. So I don't know how he even has DACA. I don't know how he re-entered after a voluntary departure. So he has a lot of immigration issues that when you do apply for him, is going to come out and going to haunt him. So I think he needs a private, confidential consultation to figure out how to figure this one out. So hold on 1 second, all right?
Okay.
All right. By the way, if you didn't get your immigration questions answered, you can always follow me on Instagram at @RealBradBernstein. If you follow me on Instagram at @RealBradBernstein, you can drop me a DM. I'll be happy to answer your immigration question as best as I can. Sometimes it takes me a few days, and sometimes your question is so complicated, I'll say, what's your number? We got to call you. Other times, I'll answer it. Depends what it is. So follow me on at @RealBradBernstein on Instagram. I'll be happy to help you. You can also follow us at Brad Show Live. If you follow us at Brad Show Live, as I always say every day, you don't like 2 hours of Brad, Yo-Yo, and Vanessa? I don't know why, but sometimes you can't handle 2 hours of us. Watch us 30 seconds at Brad Show Live on Instagram. And our best performing social media platform, run none other by Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias. TikTok. Follow us at Brad Show Live on TikTok for all very quick, very fast very ticky-tacky immigration videos.
Absolutely.
Does that even make sense?
Yes.
Oh, and it doesn't.
Anything in TikTok makes sense.
Okay.
And you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And you guys can follow me at Vanessa.Contreras TV.
And later in the show, I'm going to be speaking with Mexican-American singer-songwriter, musician Alejandro Escovedo about his latest album, La Cruzada, a Spanish version of his 2018 album, The Crossing, which hit the top 10 on the Billboard Latin Pop album chart the first week of its release.
And now in today's attorney close-up, Smart and Bernstein partner and personal injury attorney Shannon Legrier-Mingret tells us what to expect in a USCIS marriage interview.
Expect to wait a while. Usually you're gonna wait, depending on where you are, but like someplace like New York, Boston, you'll be waiting a little bit of time. So you're looking at probably, if it's like an hour, don't be astonished by that. Once you get into the interview, you will be sworn in by an officer, and at that point the officer will question you pertaining to background information. Where were you born? When were you born? They'll ask you questions about your background, family information, parents information. Do you have children? When did you get married? Are there any previous marriages that they need to be aware of? At that point, they're also asking for documentation. So proof of identity, any divorce decrees, annulment certificates that they need to be aware of, and then you're providing the original documents at that particular time. Then they'll proceed. Again, it depends on where you are. They'll question you about the marriage, and they'll ask you detailed questions about your marriage, and it depends on where you are because there may be a next step. And at that point, the officer will tell you that they will issue a decision and you're waiting.
All right, let's do something we like to call social media check-in. We check in everybody's questions, issues, problems. What do you got, Yo-Yo and Vanessa?
All right, Teja Gajar, VIP member. How does the F2B application convert to the F1 category if the F2B petitioner hasn't taken their citizenship test? Is it possible for the F2B file to change to F1?
No, it only changes to F1 once the petitioner becomes a citizen.
Addison Jeanette Oluwasian, another Brad Squad VIP member. My deadline for my RFE is July 6th, and I haven't gotten an update from the USCIS that they even received my RFE. The papers were sent on May 21st, more than a month ago. Should I resend it again before the deadline?
No, I assume that you sent it properly. I think it should be okay. I don't know where you sent it or how you sent it. But if you're concerned, yeah, I mean, I guess you can send it again. Make sure you send it, and request a signature. But it seems like if you did it right the first time, you shouldn't have to do it the second time. They're not going to notify you like, hey, Jim, we got it. We're good. All right? Just you assume it's there.
Sean Pierre, Brad Squad VIP member. How long does it take for a U.S. citizen to file for a 33-year-old?
33-year-old what? Son,
33-year-old.
daughter? Son, daughter, wife? Dog, cat, bear.
Do you have
Who
to
are we
file
filing
for pets?
You can't file for pets.
Huh?
That would be customs. That would not be immigration.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering.
You would need a customs lawyer for a pet.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know what 33-year-old. I don't know what 33-year-old we're talking about. We'll go to the next one. You want me to just say well, you want to take guess? If it's your wife, 33-year-old wife, and you're a U.S. citizen, a year and a half. If it's your 33-year-old unmarried son or daughter, 6 years. If it's your 33-year-old married son or daughter, 15 years. If it's your under 21 unmarried son or child, year and a half.
All right.
If it's your brother or sister, 33-year-old brother or sister, 15 years.
There you go.
If it's your 33-year-old employee, I mean, we could go on and on and on. I don't know which 33-year-old we're talking about.
Thank you for all of the options.
Yes.
Next one from Karen Whittaker, another Brad Squad VIP member. How long after someone gets divorced can they remarry?
The next day.
John Adal, last VIP, a Brad Squad member, does a letter from a psychologist regarding emotional abuse have to be written in a certain way? Does USCIS require a psychologist to write anything specific?
Yeah, it has to be written in a way that the psychiatrist can show that he's treated you, that he has or she has examined you, and based on his or her knowledge and his or her expertise, he can come to the following conclusions.
Amanda O on YouTube, does everyone who seeks asylum have to go into prison before doing parole?
Everyone who seeks no, that you do not have to go to prison before seeking parole.
Brajesh Patel on YouTube, what are the options for someone who got deported because they weren't able to attend their asylum court date?
It depends why you were not able to attend your asylum court date, and it also depends where you are now. So you may have been ordered deported and you're still physically here. You may have been deported and they actually physically removed you. That puts you in two different positions. Also, how they notified you and why you didn't show up. If you were just scared, that's one problem. If you were ready to go and they send your notice for your final hearing to 1 Main Street and you live on 1 North Street and you never got the notice, that's a different situation. So a lot depends on the facts, which we don't know.
Okay, this one comes from Ursa Adin on Facebook. What happens during the background check for a pending I-485 visa?
They're checking criminal records. They're checking social media. They're checking who you have connections with. They're doing a whole background on you.
Okay, Suzanne Johnson on Facebook. How long does USCIS take to respond to RFE?
It's supposed to be 120 days, but I've seen them take years. Anywhere from 120 days to years.
Maretsa Batson on YouTube. I think my parents misplaced the I-130. Is there any way I can get it replaced?
Yeah, you can request a FOIA. You can also do what's called an I-824 for a duplicate approval.
Kenny Sang on Facebook. What's the difference between C9 and C31? How long does it take to get a green card with an approved VAWA and pending I-485?
C9 is the category that you get a work permit when you file an adjustment. So maybe you filed an adjustment through marriage, maybe through as a battered spouse, maybe as a job sponsorship, maybe through another family member, maybe through asylum, as a grant of asylum. Anyone who files an adjustment and you say, I want a work permit, it's coming under Section C9. Section C31 is after you file a VAWA I-360 and you have an approval, you're entitled to a work permit based on the approval of the I-360. That would be C31.
And last one comes from Sergi Agenzo on YouTube. What is the main reason for constantly worsening EAD/AP C9 processing times while a lot of other categories are improving? Does it have any relation to the surge of petitions in October, November of 2020?
That is well beyond my understanding. I have no idea the intricacies of the bureaucracy of immigration and why one application is taking longer than the other, or other than I would tell you, COVID, Trump purposely did things to slow things down. It's hard to change a ship like that. They reduced staff, so some combination of reduced staff, Trump, and COVID.
All right.
Oh, that's it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I recently spoke with Mexican-American singer-songwriter and musician Alejandro Escovedo about his latest album, La Cruzada, a Spanish version of his critically acclaimed 2018 album, The Crossing, his incredible career, and his own family's immigration story. Let's watch. Critically acclaimed Mexican-American singer, songwriter, and musician Alejandro Escovedo truly crosses boundaries. From leading a punk band that opened for the Sex Pistols to his latest album, La Cruzada, a Spanish version of his 2018 album, The Crossing, the artist's incredible career spans many decades and diverse musical genres. Joining me to discuss his esteemed body of work and how his family's own immigration background has shaped his life and his music is Alejandro Escovedo. Thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate you joining me today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So, La Cruzada, it was released on October 24th and reached number 8 on the Billboard Latin Pop album chart that same exact week. So it opened at number 8. Congratulations. Let's start by listening to some of the song Pasos de los Sombros, Footsteps in the Shadows.
Hey, hey, ven acá, necesito más que nunca. Hey, hey, ven acá, corriendo por nuestras vidas. Hey, hey, ven acá, hay refugio en tus palpitos. Se están acercando, nos están encerrando.
Wow, that is really, really amazing. And you recorded it both in Spanish and in English. Do you mind if we listen to the English version too?
Feel free.
Hey, hey, come on, I need you more than ever. Hey, hey, come on, we're running for our lives. Hey, hey, come on, there's refuge in your heartbeat. They're closing in.
So what is La Cruzada, the crossing, about?
Well, in about 2016, I began to tour Europe more than I had in the past, and especially Italy. And when I was given an opportunity to tour Europe, I was given the choice of working with different bands from Europe. And one of the bands was an Italian band from a little village in Emilia-Romagna by the name of Modigliana. And the band was called Don Antonio. And I fell in love with them. They're kind of soundtracky, abstract, very spacious music that I love very much. So my wife and I flew over there. We did a tour. It was 42 shows in 46 days, 10 different European countries, you know. Wow. So we got very close immediately, you know. And needless to say, we traveled by a van. So there was 5 Italians and my wife and I in the van with our equipment. So we were very cozy. And I went back 2 months later to tour southern Italy in Calabria. And it was there that I saw a real correlation, a real relationship between Mexican culture and Italian culture, especially in the South. There was a lot of immigrants coming from Africa and such countries. So they were having problems with that, dealing with that. And in my head, I devised this story of a young Italian boy, and his name is Salvo, and a young Mexican boy from Saltillo in the state of Coahuila, which is where my father's birthplace is. And his name is Diego. And they meet in Galveston, Texas while they're working at a restaurant. And it's while they're working in the kitchen that they devise this plan and kind of quest to go find the rock and roll that they've read about and listened to all their lives. They love American punk rock music. They love the films of the 70s, the directors of the film, like Peckinpah and John Huston and different directors from the 70s. And they also love the Stooges, you know, and the Velvet Underground and such, you know, and they love the poetry of Bukowski and the Beat Poets. So that's the America that they go looking for.
Are these the things you love too, though?
Yes, very much. We immersed ourselves in these characters, both Antonio and I. And, you know, they go looking for this America, and what they find is an America that's very close to their ideas of freedom, their ideas to move freely throughout the United States and travel. They find a lot of different roadblocks along the way. In fact, at one point, Salvo is shot by a policeman, and we lose Salvo. And in the end, Diego makes it to LA to see the bands that he loves, but on his way back, he's still kind of fighting and being chased by immigration. And it's at the end of this journey with Diego that he kind of sits there and really kind of contemplates whether this journey was worth it at all, really. And he decides that it's best that he goes back home.
Have you done albums like this in the past, like a whole concept of a story and a story arc?
I wrote an album with Chuck Prophet, and we wrote an album that was called Real Animal. And it's basically about my life in music. You know, how I started in punk rock and the bands I was in, the Nuns, opening up for the last Sex Pistols show, moving to New York and living in the Chelsea Hotel when Sid and Nancy lived there. And it was the tail end of that great New York scene. So, yeah, I have done that before.
How do you put this all together? Because basically writing a musical, in a way, a rock musical, right?
Very much, yes. You know, like when I wrote Real Animal with Chuck, we actually set up a storyboard, like we were making a film, you know. And so we had narrative for the different characters and the music and in the story, timelines and things like that. With this one, what we did was we traveled around the back roads of Texas, really getting a feel for different stories from DACA kids and things like that, you know, and just people who lived in the backcountry and what their views were on immigration and such. We ate a lot of tacos and we had a lot of fun driving around in my truck. I'd say I wrote about 98% of the lyrics while we were in the studio in Italy. And I think that having that perspective of being away from the country and being away from any sort of influence whatsoever really kind of liberated my creative self. And they just flowed out, and it was really wonderful to have it because the musicians were so supportive, and they also kind of gave me their viewpoint on what America was to them and what it would be like to be seen through the eyes of an immigrant.
So you wrote this whole album about immigration. Your family has an immigration story too. What is that?
Well, my father was born in Mexico, in Saltillo, Coahuila. He was born in 1907. My father crossed the border when he was 12 years old looking for his own parents who had left him behind in Saltillo to be raised by his grandparents. So he made his way to San Antonio when he was 12. We had relatives in San Antonio, and these relatives told him that his parents were in a little town called Luling, Texas, where they were picking watermelons. And he was reunited with his mother and father and his sister, but found that his father was a very abusive man. And my father ran away again at the age of 16 and then began his family out on the West Coast, out in a place called Pittsburgh, California. My father ended up having 13 children, 8 of which became professional musicians. And it was really important to tell my father's story because I felt that my father had contributed a lot to American culture by raising this family that was musical and set out upon the world to spread nothing but love and music and peace, you know.
You know, it's amazing that you say that 8 of your father's children are musicians. Coke and Pete, they were part of Santana. They were part of that amazing band, your brothers. Javier started the Zeros, of extraordinarily influential punk rock band. Another brother, Mario, he was in a great band called the Dragons. And then it goes even beyond that. Your niece is Sheila E.
Yeah, it goes beyond that.
Also very, very popular pop artist. Now, several songs on the album deal directly with the present-day controversy over American immigration. How much of this album was political for you, and how much was just telling a story?
It doesn't play into politics, but politics certainly has to embrace the story because the story is an American story. In fact, one of the characters in The Crossing says, "I'm not the wetback here. You're the ones who crossed the ocean in order to come and kind of invade my country." So, but I think we wanted it to be so much a human story because we felt it would be more universal in that sense, rather than it being a political barb at any one particular thing, you know.
Let's hear a piece from another song off the album, Texas Is My Mother.
I would carry you on my shoulders across the muddy river. Texas feels like Mexico. She reminds me of my mother.
Beautiful. So what inspired the story in this song?
This song was actually inspired by some kids that we had met in Dallas who told us their story of crossing the border. And this young man, Javier, who was a wonderful clothes designer, very artistic, very creative, told me a story how he and his sister and his family crossed the border. And they crossed the river, and at one point his aunt was very, very weak and she was feeling sick. And so he tried to carry her across the border, but the current was stronger than he was and took her away. And she died. In saying that Texas is my mother, I think what I was trying to say that my father told me that when he crossed the border in those days, we're talking about, 1920, 1921, the border was like an invisible line, because Texas was Mexico at one point, as well as a good portion of the Southwest. You know, when we live here, we always refer to Texas as occupied Mexico, you know, because it's very Mexican and the culture is still very prevalent here. And it reminds me of my mother, who was born in San Marcos, Texas.
So tomorrow we're going to hear the second half of my discussion with Alejandro and The Crossing and La Cruzada. They're all available on all digital musical platforms and record stores, if record stores still exist. I know they're available on digital platforms. Record stores?
I mean, people still buy like the vinyls.
Records? Okay. And your local record store? Is there a local record store?
That I don't know.
I mean, they sell vinyls at Urban Outfitters.
Okay. There you go. All right. 50 seconds, Julian. 50 seconds. 9 immigration questions. Vinyl is in. Yes. Vinyl is in. Vinyl is in. Satin is out.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Let's go.
I-130 approved, but passport expired. What should I do?
Renew your passport.
How can a 16-year-old become a citizen before college?
His parent or her parent becomes a citizen and you live with that parent.
Can the undocumented join the military?
No.
Does USCIS check how I got a green card when I apply for citizenship?
Of course.
Can a citizen bring his British girlfriend to the U.S. to live together?
No.
Can I file mandamus after my appointment was canceled?
Maybe.
If I'm out of status, what is the safest way to travel domestically?
With a passport on an airplane.
How long after biometrics will I get my work permit?
Hopefully soon, but 3, 4, 5, 6 months.
How long does the fiance K1 visa take?
Over a year.
Woo! Come on, man.
We did it.
We did it.
We did it. I'm so shocked. I was holding tight. I'm like, damn it, we're gonna blow up again. I'm like, we're gonna blow. And then all of a sudden the balloons came.
Not on Hump Day.
I have post-traumatic stress disorder from getting blown up so often.
We did really well on that.
We did very, very well. One of the questions was a little like, your passport's expired. What am I supposed to do? Renew it.
Yeah.
That one was like,
that was a question.
That was a question. All right, comments of the day. Good job, guys. Comments of the day.
Thank you. All right, our first comment of the day comes from Carol Anderson, the Tiger, saying, "This is the best show in the universe. Watch it and you will learn a lot. It's formative and interesting and creative. Many blessings to Brad and the team."
Well, thank you very much, Carol. I agree. I believe this is the best show in the universe, too. Please spread the word.
That part.
Right. Spread the word. You know, a tree that falls in the forest, nobody hears it. Did the tree fall?
No.
No.
We wouldn't know.
We wouldn't know. Spread the word, guys. But thank you, Carol.
Joan Ambitious Pal saying, "We love listening to Schmoozing with Brad. Well-rounded show, not just immigration, but helps us as listeners to be informed in different areas."
Oh, thank you very much.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And our last comment of the day comes from Tia Diane saying, "Brad, you're cracking me up. I need to give you a call."
All right. Well, that was Hump Day, guys.
Yes.
We're done. Only a few hours left of Hump Day, right? If
use it wisely.
Use it wisely.
Don't use too much energy, though.
If what's her name from OnlyFans, who has sex 8 times a day, is watching, probably has 1 or 2 more times to go for the night. Shannon.
Yes.
We'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK. 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing?